basically, just to introduce myself to those that don't really know who I am. Igama lami nginguTholenhlanhla uMadlamini-Ngcoya. Ngizalwa uMahadebe uLungile Hadebe was a escort, and then she got married. Thank you. Then she got married to my father, uDlamini Malandelo Sibalkhulu, Mfolozi Mnyama Ekhetha Baweli, engwaseshowe. Ohadebe ke obhungana omthimkhulu amahluba amahle. They are responsible for the woman that is always making a noise in front of you now and again. Umahadebe nezalwa intombi yakwa. No, and I've just started now. It started at 3, so you're on time. Umahadebe uzalwa intombi yakamagubane onkomozi othole. I recognize them because ibona bayenzala abantu. Ukamagubane uzalwa uMamkhize. Uzalwa uMamkhize. Ubaba wami uzalwa uMakhanyile. Usaphila udle uyinkobe kuthi udle inkobe ukhona eMelmoth eMfanefile. Inzala abantu leyo. Those are the people that are responsible for the woman that you always see trying to make sense of life. And today is Mother's Day, and I want to just say, Wuti, I'm a strong woman because a strong woman raised me. A strong woman gave birth to me. If I were to tell you, Wuti ngize ngibe uTholenhlanhla kwakwenze njani, every time it's my birthday, my mom always has the speech to tell, has tears to cry, and just to say, Wuti, what an, that remarkable, the day that it was that she was told she was never going to have any more children, and she had me. So for that reason, I always acknowledge the fact that I was brought on earth for a reason. I was brought on earth to add, to make a difference to people's lives, to add value one way or another that I can. So I want to say to you, all the queens that are connected now, Wuti, being a mother is not an easy thing, Don't let anyone allow you to downplay what we go through as mothers. Just let's start by when you're just being made aware that you are pregnant. That moment when you are very happy, what you're going to bring someone emhlabeni. At the same time, you are very scared if you'll be able to carry that child to term. So that is the most confusing, bittersweet moment that one has. You wait for 3 months. You haven't told anyone because you're scared. If you tell them, it's still, the possibilities of losing the child are still very high. So you wait for 3 months. Then 3 months, you think, okay, who do I tell? Who do I not tell? Then you tell people, but still things can still happen after 3 months. So I really want to say to all those mothers who carried, who were told, who had that hope that they will carry their child as ezandleni zabo, and it never happened. I want to say with all the love, and I can say let's share our kids, but it will never be the same. Yes, Nhlanhla, there's always a connection with us. It always adds up every day, every time. And the reason I mentioned all these surnames, it's because you find all of us are connected one way or another. Umkhulu wami uHadebe wayezalwa uMadlamini-Ngcoya. So this is a circle. It just keeps going around. And honestly, that's why we need to look out for each other. That's why we need to be always there for each other, because we are sisters. It might not look like it because we always consider blood. Belungu have made us believe that your family is through biology, is through who gave birth to who, when, where, and how. That's not true. We are all related. We are all umntwana. We are all from Mother Earth. We are all from Indlovukazi uqobo lawo elingumhlaba lo esiphila kuwona. And so we need to claim our queendom. We need to claim our power as women. We need to claim it as humble as possible. We need to claim it as sithobekile okwangempela, because we will be understanding ukubaluleka kwethu to our kids and to everyone around us. So I was still saying, ukuthi, by virtue of not having your own child, really doesn't mean ukuthi awunabo abantwana, because the expectation is we are raising each other's kids. So my kids are yours as well. So when I said, ukuthi, today will be dedicated to the mothers, or the struggles that the mothers have of raising or of supporting a spiritually gifted child, some people will take a back seat and say, well, Owami is not spiritually gifted. Well, Owami, but that's not the case, my dear, because at the end of the day, my mother-in-law didn't know that she'll give birth to a spiritually gifted child through me. So this, we are all in it together. And when a friend of mine comes to me and needs help or needs advice or just venting, I also need to have the information to know how to help. So if we can just get this message in our heads to say, you can never say, not me. We are all in it together. So without sharing too much of my story, I'm going to tell you, ukuthi, I am a spiritually gifted child. One person will ask, ukuthi, kusho ukuthini kona lokho? I don't know. People say we are gifted. People say we are special. People say we are the chosen ones. People say ukuthi sizalwe sembethe, therefore sizalwe nezinhlanhla, sizalwe nobuhle nokukhanya. That's what people say. But what do we say? We say that's what they tell us. We say we are confused. We're not sure what we brought on this earth to do. We are confused because we thought we were just as normal as everyone else. And then we were told, hang on, not you. There's something special about you. But what is so special about me when I struggle so much? What is so special about me when people hear that I'm gifted and then start hating me for that, start resenting me for that? When people start not talking to you for no reason, when people start frowning when you walk in the room, thinking there's something that you know about them and yet you don't even know anything. When people start giving you names, when people call you umthakathi, when people call you abahambi bobomnyama, when people call you a lot of things, when people want to kill you for that very same gift because you now have taken idlozi, when you have taken izinhlanhla zasekhaya, when you supposedly have it all when others don't have, and therefore you deserve to die, therefore you deserve ukuthi uhleli uthakathiwe sonke isikhathi, therefore you deserve ukuthi abantu behleli bezigadile around you all the time. And when you look around, when you look at yourself and you think, but yini le, where is this thing that everyone is looking for? Where is this thing that everyone is fighting for? When you have a job and you get fired the following day and you don't know what you've done. When you have a job and you walk in and all your colleagues frown upon you, they don't know why. You know, every time something goes wrong, you're the one that is pointed at. Why? You ask yourself, why? It's called a gift. Is it a gift? I don't know. Those are the struggles that I have. These are the struggles that I had. Sometimes I don't have them because the more you start to understand who you are, the more you say, take a deep breath and you say, okay, I did not choose to be who I am. I did not choose the gift that I was given. I did not choose that my ancestors choose me out of all the people to to heal the family ills, to heal the family conflicts, and to cleanse them. Ukuba umuntu that is an intermediary between the dead and the people that are alive. I did not choose it. They chose it for me. They must have seen from my mother's womb before I was born. They must have identified me to say, you will be strong enough, you will make it. I don't know how, because I wasn't born then. I don't know how they saw that I would be strong, because they hadn't tested me. I wasn't born yet. They say I got this gift when before I was born, because I was I was a call bearer. But I was a child. I could barely speak then. I could barely hear anything. I did not know anyone. I did not know the family I was born into. However, they say, no, we choose the families we get born into. That's what they say. Here we are. So what do? We need to soldier on. The biggest problem that we have is, then you are chosen, but your very own family doesn't know how to support you. I want to say doesn't know how to support you, because I do not want to say they do not want to support you. It's very rare when families do not want to, choose not to want to. They do not know how. Yes, Mkhulu Thandeka, I hear what you're saying. You are relating to everything. We're all relating to this one thing. My song, I see you. Yes, I want to address this. When I was younger, I didn't know that I was gifted. I've always known there was something different about me. I've always known I had a different dress sense. I don't know what it was that made me every time I was always wearing amabai, hence leli engilimbethe njengamanje. Actually ibhayi lobungoma leli ibhayi laseSwatini, since ngoma Dlamini-Ngcoya waseSwatini. Originally my ancestral lineage comes from Eswazini. However, we were then raised as AmaZulu, KwaZulu. Therefore, we always still recognize ukuthi singamaswati. So I've always loved that, and I was the only one ekhaya obethanda ukufaka izinto zesintu, faka amabhayi, faka ubuhlalu. I've always walked barefoot. We thought it was because I have flat foot. I don't know. So I would walk barefoot. I will just be around the house and ngithanda izinto zesintu. I related a lot to things that people thought it was strange. So it was easier for me to then accept when I was told that I was gifted. However, it was very difficult for my family to accept because of the stigma that comes with umuntu onesipho, especially makuthiwa abantu abadala. So I come from a family lineage of abefundisi, abashumayeli. So my father's father umshumayeli waseLotel, my mother ungumshumayeli waseLotel, my mother's father wayumfundisi waseYon. Ugogo wami had Urondaville, which she turned into a church. Ugogo ozalo ubaba wami ungumshumayeli waseSheshi. So I come from a very strong Christian family. I can just go on and on and on. It's just a line of abefundisi, abashumayeli, so technically I was just seen as umntwana ozofunda Sunday school. I mean, I went to Sunday school, ngaqiniswa. I could have been in Iskhonzi, but I went to boarding school, so maybe that's why I wasn't. But that is the upbringing that I come from. So you guys can imagine the difficulty of then my mother having to now support something that she is not, she has no knowledge of. When I grew up ekhaya, at no point do I remember kushiswa impepho. So I don't remember ekhaya ukuthi umsamo wawukuphi. if we had any. My father was not that traditional, so we didn't shisimpe ponanani. However, I remember at a young age there was a time when kuzoqinisa umuzi mhlambe sagcatshwa. So I'm not saying anginazi ngabo from young or what. I'm saying it wasn't something that we practiced at home. So all I knew was if the things went wrong, tati babeli niyatandaza, and you pray for whatever it is, and so on and so on. So here I am now having to say kuthiwa nginabantu abadala, and possibly I would need to uthwasa. You can imagine ukuthi I was prayed for by different kinds of abafundis. My mom tried everything she can to help me because I had imimoya that they were not that they didn't know about or how to deal with. That maybe emasontweni amaningi it is a moya that need to be prayed for to get out, to be prayed for to leave you, to be prayed for maybe to transform into umoya wenkolo rather, because emasontweni they would accept you ukuthi unesithunywa, therefore ungumthandazi, rather than uthi uyisangoma or uyinyanga. So those were the prayers to say, if she really has a gift, maybe it can be converted to be utandazi or to be, something. She goes, even if it means it's fine. It's better than ukuthi. I remember at some point there was someone who had volunteered to pray with me over the phone. There was this time when he said ukuthi thatha izandla zakho, angazi noma he said I must put them on my head or whatever, but he said something like moya wamadimoni, moya wezingulube, moya ezinukayo ezihamba emanzini anjani, izingagezi ezinjani. I remember usually when somebody was praying for me I would pray, but that day I could feel that I cannot say this. I respectfully did not drop the phone, but in my heart, and deep down in my heart, I felt it. There was something wrong with me saying moya yama yezingulube na madimoni and all of that. So that was the day I said enough is enough. I want people to pray with me to understand this journey. I want to pray myself to understand this journey, but I do not want to hear negative things, and I don't want to hear about how smelly and how bad and how demonic this is. I want to understand it first so that I can be able to say that. So it's the first time I'm actually coming out, not because I've been shy, but it's just my private story. But it's the first time that I'm actually saying ukuthi in 2018 then things happened to a point where then I decided that I'm going to accept my gift and go ngiyotwasa. So I'm sharing this because a lot of people send me these private messages to say we are struggling because we understand, and we've heard many times, very long time since we're young, maybe over 5 years, 10 years, that we are gifted. And I can see which is but my family doesn't understand it. Most especially my mother doesn't understand it because of the Christianity. So I'm sorry, Ma, that I didn't clear this with you, but maybe my gift is pure Sam corner, so that through my experience I can then maybe share and somebody gets healing through that, and I hope this does that. So you can imagine how difficult it was for my mother engumshumayeli njengoba ngisho waseLuthela ukuthi sengizotwasa. So what does she do then? Is she still gonna go to church and preach to the people and tell them ukuthi manje, So I remember my brother at some point went home when we were still grappling with this. Remember, I'm also married. I I have my in-laws also don't understand this whole situation. When I got married, I was just this model C kind of girl who has no cultural don't. So all of a sudden, even for my husband, he is now, it's like something else, and now all of a sudden he has to understand that he is now marrying into someone maybe who could be sangoma, could be, we don't know. And that's the thing about this calling is, at the beginning we actually just don't know where this thing is going to go. Even if you start dreaming and it comes through as isithunywa, which most people find a big relief to say, oh no, mina abantu bafuna ngithandaze, bafuna ngisebenze ngamanzi, so therefore it's easier and it's better and it's more acceptable, so then maybe I'll accept. My dear, you accept that, but remember, maybe loba phethe isithunywa wasesayidini lako bokamama wakho. Once you accept that, you have your other ancestors who were bebephethe inyanga, mhlambe bebelapha abantu ngemithi yesintu. They're saying, hang on a minute, my child, nami bengikhona la ukhula, and I was part of raising you, so therefore I need you to carry on, because what you do is you are in the physical doing the work of the people that have passed. So nami ngifisa ukuthi uqhubeke wenza umsebenzi wami ulapha abantu. We're not talking about ukuthakatha lana. We're not talking about doing izinto ezimbi. We're talking about just merely doing the good work of the people, of your people that have passed, that possibly have wanted your mother, your grandmother, or even your great-grandmother to take the gift, but they didn't, and so it kept getting passed on. Or they didn't know about it, or they knew but they went bayocela, but siyacela ukuthi lesipho sibe, it must be transformed into a prayer, in a prayer form, ngithandaze, ngibe mfundisi or something like that. That way I'm still serving people, that way I'm still healing people, but for now ngicela siyenze kanje, later on we will change. But when they say later on, they don't say when exactly. So then when the time is up and the people are like, but no, we've been waiting. We understand the church part, but we also want to do it ngesintu. Then it passes on to the next person. Then the next person also maybe also tries and go and convert it, and it works, and they give it another timeline. And then that's how it gets passed on, because people ask ukuthi manje igcinifika kanjani kumina, because that's the main thing. Why me? How did it get to me? Why it passed so many people? It's because they've been pleading, sometimes knowing, sometimes not knowing. So then that's where the conflict comes in, where your mother will then say ukuthi, but hang on la, why wena uvumela ukuthi ufuna ukuyothwasa? Because Tina Ekaya or whatever, if it was there, what we did was to pray, and so therefore we all went to church, and ngokholwa kwethu this thing was taken away. But when you hear, you feel, you understand, and they tell you ukuthi this is what has happened. Yes, they won bona because they pleaded and they asked, and it was still time, we were fine. But njengamanje, we are tired. We want to now start working ngesintu sethu. Then it's up to you to suffer the consequences of not accepting, or to surrender and accept for the sake of healing the whole family. Not for your sake, for the whole family. So for some people, it looks as if when we accept the gifts because it's their hand, oh, uyaithanda vele lezi zinto zesintu, oh, kunjani. It's when you understand, because you're the only one that can get it, because it comes to you. You're the only one that gets the dreams. You're the only one that gets the visions. You're the only one that suffers when things don't go right. You're the only one that has unembeza that tells you that things are not going right because of A, B, C. So then it's your choice to either accept it or not accept it. So I decided to accept the gift. Having said that, when I accepted it, I still didn't know what is siqalapi siyapi. So I'm not going to take you through my journey of ukutwasa. I'm not going to take you through ukuthi njengamanje ngikuphi ngiyini, but the whole point is the key eseqaleni, where you realize you have a gift and then you feel you can't do anything because you're lacking support, and you feel your mother is not listening to you, and your mother is telling you pray, but you know you've been praying, but it's not working. So I want us to try and understand what. So first thing I said, for my mom, it was difficult to understand it because it wasn't something she was exposed to. Number two, for my mom, it wasn't something she could accept because of ukuthi beumfundisi esontweni. So she had to go back to esontweni and declare and say ukuthi, look, this is now my child, he has this, we've tried praying, we've tried this, and she has decided to accept. And that's the thing, Mama Wuti, your child will always be your child. If you look at it, my mom shouldn't be so stressed about me now because I'm married. I'm like, what now, 15 years or more married. So Dlamini-Ngcoya, fanele ngabe akuseksiyo her problem. But the fact of the matter is, as a mother, you are a mother until your kids are dead. And so you need all the strength needed. So, before I go back, hey, mom fought it hard, etc. But the moment she saw she had to, was the time I was always sick. Our mothers are now embracing who we are. Yes, as a mother, you fight it. But, because then you can always say, let's pray, let's this. But mangabe umntwana wakho wamzala, wahlala la kuwe, khona la kusika khona, khona la kusho khona ukuthi enough is enough. I don't care what the world say. I don't care abantu bazothini. This is now my child. If kufanele ngenyanga nenkulu, this is where I'm going with my child because it's my child. And I'm hoping with this conversation gets abanyo mama, or when you take this recording and go and listen with your mom, she somehow realizes the risk in her not supporting you is much, much bigger than her supporting you. One, my brother is here. Love you, my twin. Thank you for being here for support. My one thing I was saying to my mom the other day, Wuti, as much as we understand ukuthi mama akulula ukuthi bamukele into abayazi, abanye bo mama, the reason bengakwazi ukumukela lesipho lesi, it's because they've been through it themselves. They've accepted the gift, maybe went to twasa, izinto zafike zanzima kakhulu ekuthwaseni. Abanye bafike bahlukumezeke ekuthwaseni. Abanye they were raped ekuthwaseni. Abanye they saw people being killed ekuthwaseni. Abantu they saw families turn against them because bathwasa. There's a lot of things that went. Abanye didn't do it themselves, but they experienced or they saw someone emdenini who went through this, wahlanya, who went through this, and all of that. So they don't want, no mother would want that for you. So them not supporting you is not because they abaktandi, but it's because how much they love you. They're trying to protect you from all these bad things that could happen because you have accepted the gift. So it's from a place of love. So if we can understand that, it's not all just being spiteful and bitter and not wanting to tap into what you're going through, nanani. It's because bayakuthanda so much that they do not want you to go through ubuhlungu that they went through. Okay, that's one. Number two, abo mama bethu, especially when you're married, they think about emzini kuzothiwani. uma ngabe sewenza ukuthi so it would reflect bad on them. It would reflect as if, you know, they knew that you had a gift and decided not to tell the in-laws and whatnot and whatnot. So there's a lot of things that is causing them not to accept. Remember, abantu abadala bakithi, they're not like us now where we question. Remember, the Bible says kholwa don't question. And now we're starting to question ukuthi, if I'm able to say the God of the Abrahams and the uNkulunkulu ka-Abraham, no Moses, no ban, why can I not say uNkulunkulu bomkhulu bami or wogogo baxinile nosanqula nokati nobani? Why can I not say that? You know, so we question that. They were not allowed to question it. So we have to understand ukuthi nesikhathi esiphila kuzona is fine. So bona, they took the Bible for what it is, and to question the Bible really is very difficult. If kuthiwa our ancestors are demons, they believe our ancestors are demons, end of the story. Even though when you sit down with them and try to reason with them, it's going to take time. So be patient and know that ukuthi, as much as it's possible to have support from your friends, to have support from the social media groups, from the media sangomas, from the visual nyangas, and everyone say, no, we're here for you, we support you. All the woke African kids, the underground kids, we're saying, yeah, we're together. Ekugcineni kwakho konke, you need ikhaya ozophumela kulona. You need your parents to support you. You need umuntu wasekhaya ozokhuluma umsamo wakini. There is no way ukuthi wena uzohamba uyothwasa lapho bakuhlabela imbuzi khona, bakufake khona, bakhiphe khona, uvume zonke izinto zakini lapho kwagobela, whoever that gobela is. It can't be. And if you find a gobela that is fine with carrying on with all these things with you, without helping you intervene and make peace with your family, then there's something wrong there. You need to start questioning ukuthi, is everything okay? Because the whole point of you to twice, or the whole point of you to uthathe isiphiwo umthandazi and all of that, is to heal umndeni, is to heal all these things that went wrong emndenini. Uthola ukuthi kuthiwa there's inhlambuluko nani, khona abahamba bedinga ukugezwa, khona abahamba ngengozi, khona abahamba kuqatshenwe, zonke lezo zinto. That is your job to do. So if when you're saying ukuthi, fine, I'm taking his PO, I'm going to do everything, but I'm not going to engage or involve my family. I found Sibongo Fana, they're going to do all of this for me. Then you're not doing the job that you're supposed to do. You are now taking this thing, sekwe yako. Uktwasa is doing something for it's your spiritual guides tell you what to do. Hence they tell you where to go. You don't just wake up uhambe uyohlola and then they tell you ukuthi, hey, unabantu abadala mntanami futhi ngakusiza, hlala phansi, siyakuthwasisa, it's going to be quick, it's going to be 3 months, you're going to be fine. No, then that is your thing. Your spiritual guides must tell you, whoever okungenile uyena okufuneka athi mina ngicela uye, ngikuthuma ukuthi uye kwa Dlamini or kwaNgcoya, kwaNgcoya uzofica uMadlamini ehleli phansi, kuzobe kunebhayi nomama babhemayo at the back or whatever. And when you get there, you need to see that. Then you know you're at the right place. You can't just walk in and then it's like you're going to a doctor and they prescribe and then voila, you know. I tell you, my frustration was I went for the very first time when I went to, I wasn't even going to Hlola. I was going having someone else and whatnot. And then we were told, you have a gift, you need to start whatever. And I tried, and I went to Kwababu Vivi Omkiz. And we all know Vivi Omkize is the wise and knowing all and the learned. So the first thing that came in my mind is I'm going to ask as many questions. I'm going to get all the answers I need. Voila. I asked ukuthi so manje mkhulu, if you saying ukuthi nginesphiwo and kade sabakhona and kufanele mina kufanele ngenze izinto zasekhaya wara, how do I do it? He said, my daughter, he said, gogo kahle kahle, wathi wegogo, ayikho into engizokutshela yona mina. Hamba uyoziphuphela wena, uzobuya wena usuzotshela mina ukuthi amaphupho athini. The frustration I had when I walked out there, I was so angry with him to say, how dare he not help me and not guide me. If athi ngiyophupha, ngizokwazi ngani ukuthi imapha amaphupho afunekalayo, imapha amaphupho ekumele ngiwalethe. It was so frustrating. It was difficult. If anyone wants to share, this is a platform. It's not me just talking to you, but I wanted us to engage. Thank you, Mauna Monde, to be here. I know you were asking a lot of questions as well, Izolo, but I want you guys to engage and to share if you have, and to ask questions. If I can answer them, I will also be able to answer them. But I'm not giving a lecture. I'm just merely just deciding to, I might as well just come out in the open where everyone can be able to ask questions at once or to be able to be helped at once. Because I said to my mom and my brother the other day, it's so difficult, this thing yami ukuthi I have never been out to say ngahamba ngayotwaza. I've never gone out to say ngisangoma or anything. However, I get inboxes, I get people wanting help, I get people wanting to know how I've overcome this whole thing, how my family accepted this whole thing, and yet I've never said ukuthi that's what I do. So therefore, it means ukuthi that's what I'm called to do. And my brother said, well, you possibly don't have to say anything. Kodwa abantu should bayakubona ukuthi nalelo nayakhe isibani solwandle kushuthi mabebuka babona, so you, by being you, I'm just, all I've done was just be me, nothing else. I've never claimed to be umakhosi ubani. I've never claimed to be unyango ubani. I've never claimed to be umthandazo ubani. I've just been uthola inhlanhla uMadlamini-Ngcoya. End of the story, umfazi wempondo. But because of what is given kumina, what I am carrying, what I'm walking with, what engihamba nabo, bayaziveza bona noma ngasifihla kanjani. So here I am. Ask questions, let's talk, let's see where this can go, because I know people are struggling. So, but I think the main thing that I wanted to bring across, it's not that our parents abastandi. It's not that they do not want to support us. Bayasaba, they are very scared. That is something that every mother that loves their child will go through, to just be scared and try and protect them and try and say no. We have no idea every time I get a job and I go away, how my mother stays at home and just be praying every day nothing goes wrong. Because as I said, it's pure esna, so it's pure that the people that you walk with decide where you work, they decide who you marry, they decide who you're friends with, they decide what you wear, they decide basically everything. If you think today ngizofaka hill. I remember I was a guest speaker at some event in Cape Town the other time. I had bought new shoes, high heels. I was beautiful. I knew. That day, brand new shoe, yakapuga on the top, the leather broke on the top, because they didn't want me to wear the shoes. And once you get to a point where you understand, when you get it, it's like you get it, and you laugh about it and say, that gives you peace, because otherwise I would have been crying. I would have been trying to borrow, steal shoes to say, manje bantu bazothini, now I'm walking barefoot, now this. I own who I am. I enjoy it. Sometimes I say I'm very blessed to have my husband who gets me, because if it was someone else, because if I want to rock my amabai, I do that. Nje, I sell my tires. It is for protection and also scared on your behalf if people will accept you, etc. That's true, because people don't accept. Let me tell you, I've been to how many homecomings when people went to Twasa, when they came back home, I was the only one of the age group, the only one. I do not want to say as a friend, because in most cases I did not go there as a friend. I went there mhlambe because it was someone that we connected with. It was someone that I went there as a sister because of the calling to support, and there was no friends there. So your friends love you manga usagqoke kanje, usa-happy, usanjani, but masokuthiwa uyophuma uyogida, that's when you see they're not there. They're not there. And people will never understand how painful that is. Then they wait for you for like a month, 2 months, 3 months. When you start taking off ikhumba, sekusele mhlawumbe ama-beads, nani. Then they start saying, hey, mngani, hey, whatever. Then they're fine with you. But at the time when you need them the most, they're not there. At the time when you come back from a pehlweni, and you still don't know how people are going to get you, how people are going to accept you, you need your friends to be close, they're not there. You know, and so that's why then your parents would not want something like that for you. And I always say, Uguti, for us, for a generation yet or the generation after us, it will be much better, because God, I'm not saying, but let's say any one of my kids, not my ones, but any of the kids that consider me as a mother, but they have a gift. They have someone to look up to. They have someone that they can go to and say, what do we do? And we can sit down and figure it out, you know, without fear, where you can actually explain to them, these are the things to expect, A, B, C, D, but however, I'm going to work with you, we're going to do this. Right now, there are a lot of classes of teaching people ukuphahla kanjani, which is something that as basic as every black child should just know, because it's prayer. You know, it's something that every black family should be doing and should be exposing their kids to. That it's something that shouldn't be taught njengamanje, because manje it's like lectures to teach you how do you phahla. And abanye they're asking themselves, phahla is the connection between you and your ancestors. Just like, so I was explaining to my kids the other day, so when you go to church, depending which church you go to, but if you go sheshe Romani, Luthela, kushiswa impepho, kuthiwe yasesontweni. So kushiswa impepho. So mangabuya emsamo, like if we go to emsamo, siyophahla, sishisa impepho. Then we talk, we khuluma nje about ngisho ngithi, so we pray to the God. Umamncane wami Zolo was asking, before I lose unothi, let me just say unothi lithi inkinga ukuthi they are ashamed of being associated with you simply because they lack knowledge and enlightenment. That's true. That's true. Nothile people are abafuna ukubuza, so they would rather baqhele. So I was still saying ukuthi ukuphahla. So I was just explaining to my kids, for now, I need to take it bits and pieces. Remember, Nami, I'm also just starting learning now. Like I explained to you, it's not something in kulengayo. But however, if you're also gifted as Nyizinto, you learn from abantu abaphilayo, and you're also being taught by abantu abadala ohamba nabo. So they tell you, sometimes you wake up with this wisdom ongayazi ukuthi iqhamuka, and then you know ukuthi bengasakhulumi ke mina manje bese khuluma ugogo mangimang, bese khuluma umkhulu mangimang, so and so forth. So esontweni if esheshe Luthela emaromeni whatever bashisa impepho. So like khaya sishisa impepho, then uyakhuleka, you're praying to God. So Mamncane one day yesterday was asking me, is there one God? Are we praying to the same God? I'm saying yes, we're praying to the same God, Dlamini-Ngcoya, umkhulu, which is then uNkulunkulu. We're praying to the same God, umkhulu Dlamini-Ngcoya, Dlamini-Ngcoya wezizwe zonke, Dlamini-Ngcoya wendalo nezidalwa zonke, inzulu yemfihlakalo, inzulu yezimanga. Kwakunguye kudala, kusenguye namanje. That's what we're praying. That's the prayer. Whether you're a Christian, you are all Christians, Dlamini-Ngcoya is the same God that was, he is namanje. And then we now call on or Abraham basebhayibhelini, but here we're calling Armstrong, we're calling Baxinile, we're calling Mazondi or Mamkhize or Magubane. Those are our people, right? And we are saying, Guti, Ababe, they must be with us now. We're thanking them, whatever we're doing, but it's the same prayer. If you look at the structure, esemasontweni, umsamo wakhona, which is the altar. That's why umsamo vele yona the altar. But umsamo wasesontweni has, if you know what is iladi, iladi, when you have, it's exactly the same that we do with altar yasesontweni. We have amakhandlela, we have amanzi, we have njoba kuba nesinko kube newayini nani, kube newayini, kube nani. We do that. We have iwayini, we have amaswiti, we have amachips bogogo nani. Umsamo lo, it's the altar yasesontweni. We're also doing the same thing here. So there's nothing we're doing that is now sesibeke ikhanda lomuntu. No, we're simply just praying. The only difference is we are including those that walked before us, those that we are DNA yabo, those that we breathe umoya wabo, those that we called mangabe ngithi ngumadlamini ngibiza bona odlamini, mangabe ngithi ngumntana kaMahadebe, I'm calling boHadebe obhungane. So that's basically the only thing that we're doing. So akukho ukubhizana okusabisayo about that. You know, it's ngibona uthande ukuthi ukuvuma idlozi comes with lots of sacrifices. Ngingenwa amadoda u7 awafuni ngibe nomntwana, but because ngahlala phansi bangikhetha babuka ubumhlophe benhliziyo khona abangiyongijabulisa ngakho, ngiyasaba ukuthinta la, bangijabulisa ngakho. I might not get married, but wake wayibona indoda igana enye indoda. It's a process, but hopefully bayongicabangela ubizo ke lelo. Ununu uthi, thank you, I needed to hear this cause bathi ngine gift, so I'm still waiting for them to show me direction. Okay, let's address indaba kaThandeka. uThandeka uthi ungenwa amadoda u7. So what that means is, like I was saying, when you accept a gift, so like I said before, ubizo, it's you being called to do umsebenzi wabantu bakina sebahamba. So abantu bakina bahamba could be from your mother's side. Remember, your mother's side has also two sides. Has kuboka babu wakhe na kuboka mawakhe. If it's your father's side, has two sides. Kuboka babu wakhe, kuboka mawakhe. Kanjalo, and the branches go and they go and they go. And I've been saying to these people have been jumping and jumping, benga accept their gifts. So you find ukuthi she accepted one kehla, then la manyama kehla I decide ukuthi no, nati. And then at the same time there's umdao. Umdao is when ungenwa yidlozi, that is not technically of your bloodline, but of umuntu ozothola indawo, mhlawumbe othola inhliziyo yakho nje bethi babona inhliziyo yakhe emhlophe. So uthola ukuthi bafike bazoncenga la, bazokhothama ngaphansi kwamakhosi akini la wona hamba nabo, ukuthi bayacela nabo ukhosela bangene basebenze umsebenzi wabo. So technically you end up with a lot of, so that's why you find ukuthi umuntu wesifazane uzobizwa ngekhehla. How khehla? Sometimes you'll hear when I do my interviews with other people, they'll say, how sabonga kehla, then kubona they see ikehla ngihamba nalo, amakehla ngihamba nawo. Uzozwa ngelanga bathi thokoza gogo, because kubona they see ogogo engihamba nawo. So that is why then they say ukuthi mongenwa amakhehla azoba nesikhwele njengoba uThandeka esho. Amakhehla azoba nesikhwele athi angeke phela thina sigane siyoba umakoti komunye umuzi, sesakhothama, sesathethe, sesaphekiswa, sesenziwa kanjani, sesi. When I must go to.
Okay, no, go back.
We're back. Are we back? Can someone tell me if we're back or it was? We had a connection thing. Hey, yabona ukukhuluma abantu abadala basaqhubha ngeindaba zakudala bafuni. Come, let's see. Can somebody just tell me if we're okay now? If we're back, if we're okay. Okay, guys. Ooh, wait. Guys, can you hear me? Are we back? Are we we got disconnected, so I'm not sure if we sorted or not.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
So I was still saying before I was kicked out of indaba ze-internet. So I was still saying ukuthi ke so uThandeka yena there's that predicament ukuthi she might not get married. So kukhona lento yokuthi uyakhona ukucela ukuthi uyacela kubantu abadala ukuthi bakuvumele ukuthi ushade. But nakhona there's the thing of ukuthi then they will choose ukuthi ubani abafuna ukuthi ubani that will accept ukuthi ushade naye or ukuthi bavume ukuthi bakanselane nabo. So yeah, that's that. And uMapembe, she says ukuthi she needed to hear this because that she's heard ukuthi she's got a gift, but she's waiting for a direction. Yes, it's very important to wait for a direction from your people, to not just take it at face value ukuthi, because again sometimes you go to umuntu okuhlolelayo uzokutshela ukuthi yo abantu bakho baphakeme kakhulu, you need to move now, you need to make sure ukuthi uyathwasa khona manje ngoba nje ungaphuma la ingozi seyisemnyango sewungashayiswa imoto sengathi. Don't be frightened. Don't let people tell you ukuthi kuzokwenzakalani in you know that if kuzokwenzeka lokho fanele that should come to kube into oyizwa wena that they tell you abantu bakini oyibonayo emaphusheni and then you know ukuthi sekuyabed, you know, but it shouldn't be someone okuthusayo okutshelayo ukuthi no phuthuma if ungakwenzi manje kuzokwenzakalani, because then awusuzenzela wena awusayi labo uthunywe khona ukuthi uyokwenza whatever you need to do. But like I say, if there's any more questions or if there's any more contributions, I accept, because it's a conversation. It's not just me saying what I want to say. But before it gets to, because I am going to be here, we can have a conversation for as long as you want. But I want to say how much I appreciate all the Queen mothers that have supported their children one way or another. Oh, thanks, my brother. Okay. So ngifuna ukuthi siyabonga kakhulu. Oh, sorry, ama message wenu abengasangene on my main phone, so ngizobheka le. So ngiyabonga kakhulu kuzindlovukazi, ngiyabonga kakhulu ko Queen Mother, ngiyabonga kakhulu kwinzala abantu that have decided or to put aside ubuhlungu babo, to put aside the fear, to put aside abantu bazothini syndrome, to decide ukuthi mina nengane yami sizowa sivuka ndawonye. Whatever my child needs, I will support. As much as I don't understand ukuthi kwenzakalani ngaye, as much as she also doesn't understand ukuthi kwenzakalani ngaye, but lo ezanakho sizohlala naye and try and understand it together and support her any way I want to. She needs me, because ingane ikhala kunina. If umama ekulahlela ezinkonyameni, or I say throwing you out to the wolves as well, because if your mom is not there for you, then you get out there and you find someone that says, I made an example with my mom the other day when she was here, you know, when your mom doesn't support you, then you hear untla or gogo makhosi usibanibane ekhuluma online, umbuka uyamthemba uyamthanda, then you send them a message and you say, but gogo nginenkinga kanjena, and then ngithi mina Woza, I will help you. So I said to her, imagine, because I work olwandle kangaka, and then afike Nunu njobe esho ukuthi kuthiwa une gift mayifika kumina I say Nunu fanele ngokufaka olwandle, you know, and then ngiyahamba ngiyamfaka olwandle lapho uNunu avuka abantu bakubo bathi sebeyamthatha ahambe. Nobody wakubo knew ukuthi she came to me. None of her friends knew ukuthi she came to me because she's ashamed to tell her friends, because when she made a pass to say ukuthi she has a gift, they started laughing, they started frowning, or she's seen them behleka omunye, so therefore she cannot take that risk to tell them. So she comes to me. Things happen. Nobody will ever know ukuthi walahlekaphi, wayaphi, kwenzakalani kwen. So that's the risk of not supporting your child. So I say thank you to all the mothers that say kunzima kunjalo. I remember, like I said, kuti my brother went home, and then there was a prayer where Uma was telling, oh mama bom kulega, I don't know whether listen or bani, mama, she almost died. And when she was telling them ukuthi this is the predicament that she's facing. Her child has accepted the gift, so she doesn't know what's coming next, but possibly whatever, like Kaya, which is something that you didn't think it will happen, but it is happening. And so therefore, if befuna ukuthatha impahla zabo, whether it's the uniform, whether they want to take away ukuthi angasashumayeli bathathe emajazi asosontweni nani, it's fine, because she has to choose to be with her child. My brother says isililo esaselapho kwakhala ethi azathi yazi mina ngeke ngibuyele ekhaya mangabe kuzokhala ngathi kufiwe, but that is the pain that she went through for me. And I want to say Mahadebe ngiyabonga Ndlovukazi, ngiyabonga, and that is why I have the strength to take this platform to say to everyone else, I will be here with you to help you go through this journey with your mother. I don't want to say I'll be there with you and we leave your mother out of this. No, I will be there with you to try and intervene, to try and explain to your mother that we understand. We get it why she's like that. We get it why she's scared. However, we need her to be with us in this journey. We need her blessing. We need her to cry on, because kunzima, because kubhlungu. You need to have your mother ozobuya uyokhala kuyena when things are unbearable, when things don't make sense, when one day you thought you were doing everything right, then the next thing sewuthola amaphupho bathi no, asafuna wenze lokho, asakufuna ubela, asafuna ukuthi all of that, you know, when everyone has left you, you have your mother to go and cry on. You have your mother to say, please pray for me. Because like I said before, we are praying the same God. We are praising Sithemba uNkulunkulu mveli nqangi oyedwa. And when I come back to my mom, ngithi mama ngicela uhlale ebusuku uthandaze. I remember when I was entwaseni, remember sivuka ngo-3, so ngo-3 we start doing the rich, whatever you need to do. I said I'm not going to talk about the journey of twice, but ngo-3, so which means you wake up at 2:30, because whatever you start at 3 fanele usogezile ngamanzi abandayo, kadulele phansi. Goal 3, when I started praying, when I started ukulayitha lawo makhandlela, my mom was always up with me, sithandaza. She would pray with me on the phone, on a speaker. I'll be on the speaker alone lapha bengikhona esigodlweni sithandaza so2. I want to say thank you, you know, and I know how difficult it was for her ukuthi to always twist her mindset when she prays, to not say ukuthi ngicela iphele lento ekwenzeka kumntanami, ngicela ingabi khona lento yokuthwasa, ngicela. So she had to be conscious of what she says when she prays, because she has to walk this journey with me in understanding what this is the gift that comes from abantu bakubo abadala. You understand that? How difficult that can be. So I want to say thank you to all the Queen Mothers that have done that, because if you always find ukuthi, and I know my mother also uhlangizwa ngikhuluma lo ukuthi, you find ukuthi I say Ulungile Makanya, it is so true. Thank you for appreciating us as mothers. Yes, mama, yazi siyabonga ma, siyabonga ngaphandle kwenu ngempela, ngaphandle kwenu ngesingelutho. A lot of things happen esigodlweni, a lot of things happen emhlabeni nje, a lot of things happen emshadweni. You know, my mom had to pray for my marriage while I was busy with Ndwaso. She had to pray because I was away from my kids. She had to pray for my husband to understand. She had to pray for my in-laws to understand what is happening. She had to thank you to all the mothers, and she was not alone because she owned up to all these group of women ababese asonta nabo. They also were held liable to pray with her. Ngo-12 bebemfonela bathi asikhuleke, I know there were some who laughed. I know there were some who pretended not to know what was happening when they knew exactly what was happening, because they do the same for their kids behind the curtains. The difficulty when you are on the limelight is sometimes you can't hide your own things zasendlini yakho, and then people bakwazi ukucasha ngawe. I always say to my mother, don't take things at face value. A lot of abefundis that are on the podiums praying and shumayelaring and whatnot, some have been through Gutwasa. A lot of abafundisi, some have been raised by izangoma nezinyanga. Some of abafundisi come to isigodlweni ebusuku bezokonsulta because things are not going right emakhaya kubo. Hayi ukuthi bezothakatha noma bezothwala. No, they are coming bazocela ukulekelelwa because things are not going kahle ekhaya, because bangomalume fanele baye emsamo, because fanele balungisele isibongo sengane kadadewabo, because. But when they are on the podiums, they're not going to tell you guys that. They are not going to tell you that. And so that's when you need to uhlangane nawe wena noNkulunkulu wakho nibe na that connection, the two of you and your God. There shouldn't be any muntu phakathi kwakho noNkulunkulu ukuthi you and your God should have this conversation to say, God, what do I do now? Because uzoloku ubuka unhla wena ukuthi wenza ukuthi uhamba ukuthi kanti awazi ukuthi ngenzani mina mangila ekhaya ebusuku nabantu abami. Bona bakhona abantu abahlala bafaka long sleeve nani awazi izingcabo ezingaphansi la, awazi ukuthi abantu mabenza ama hairstyles elana umbozeni lana, not because you're tired, just merely because you understand ukuthi those are the things that helps them, those are the things that support that protect them as umuntu omnyama, as into ababekhule ngayo, and therefore bakubona ukuthi uthe masekuflathela izinto zangahamba right, then uyazenza. Kodwa ngoba usaba abantu bazothina syndrome, then they don't show it. So sekumele sife sifele ukuthi abanye abantu bathini. No, guys, no. So I'm going to end this at some point very soon. So if there's anyone who wants to add, who wants to ask a question, who wants to, yes, who is saying, wow, you understand my story very well. I haven't really shared everything with anyone, but the bits and pieces that I give people, some of them never really understood, because I've never spoke about the part my mother, how my mother handled this whole thing. So that's why then some people are like, wow, it's not because they don't know about my journey, but they don't know about my mother's journey. So I'm hoping it's not that I'm not seeing your messages, it's just that you don't have any messages. I want to leave you with a poem. I'm not closing if anyone still wants to ask, but I have a poem that I found, and I just want to dedicate it to the Queen Mothers, kuyizindlovukazi ezikhulisile ezilwe nathi izimpi. To us, we are the ndlovukazis ourselves. We are the Queen Mothers to our kids as well. So you are amazing as you are, stronger than you know, more beautiful than you think, worthier than you believe, more loved than you can ever imagine, passionate about making a difference, fiery when protecting those you love, learning, giving, generous, growing, not alone, warm, quirky, sexy, funny, smart, flawed, whole, scared, brave, and so much more. Be strong, be confident, be you. That is to us, to them, to the queens that raised us, the queens that we are, to the queens that we're going to raise Tina self, our princesses that we have, that we're going to show what it takes to be a supporting mother, to be a supporting wife, to be a supporting mother-in-law, because omamezala need to play a big role as empilweni zethu as well. So really, I want to say I appreciate you, bomama, ngenhliziyo yami yonke. I want to say ngiyanethanda kakhulu. Be strong even when things don't look bright, when things look very difficult, when you're not sure if your child is taking the right path, when you're not sure if they're being influenced or if they think what they're doing is just fancy, bafuna ukujabulisa abantu. I remember mina at some point they said engathi uyayithanda nje nawe lento yenzayo, because I decided ukuthi if I can't fight it, let me just enjoy it. Not necessarily enjoy it, but let me just own it. What I am is who I am. It's what lives in me, what gives me life. If we talk about being authentic, I pride myself in that, and I pray that I remain that way, where what you see is what you get. What I say, it's what I'm doing at that time. And when I decide to change that again, I will say, Wuti, you know what, I actually used to believe A, B, C, D, and now I don't believe it anymore because A, B, C, D. And, because that's the thing, is people would not tell you when they've changed. For now, when we're all going, yeah, I'm a demoni, yeah, this, yeah, that, it's fine. But when they change, they would not tell you, ukuthi yazini mnganami, sengihambe ngahamba nami ngagcina sengenza ukuthi, uyabo? So the one thing that I want to advise those that were told or that know that are gifted, is that please understand ukuthi there are two sides to this whole thing. There's the good side and there's the darkness. There's always two. So always choose wisely, that you do not fall on the dark side. That is what you strive for. That's what you fight for. That's what you try and fight for every day. Wuti ngingazitholi ngenza something engekho right. Ngingazitholi mhlambe I mustn't find myself ending up ebuthakatheni. Let me just say it like that. Ngazitholi sengithakatha kanti bekade ngithi ngiyolab. It's fine nokuthi some people say ukuthi ukuthwasa nokuthwala kuyafana. Akufani. And I must say ukuthi sometimes umuntu uhamba ethi uyothwasa afike bamthwalise engazi, because you don't know. So if that happened, don't beat yourself up. That's something that you learned. You would learn how to get out of it. You will become a better person because you would have known that you have tapped into the dark side. So you know how to fight that, or you know what not to do next time. But we learn as we go, and we become stronger people. So thank you for spending this afternoon with me for your Mother's Day. I hope it contributed. I hope it shed some light. I hope for some of you, when you listen to this with your mothers, it might just help them understand where they are and maybe help you understand where you are. And I pray to God, Kamat, ngiyakuthandaza ezinyanyeni zakithi ukuthi zisilekelele nezakini, ukuthi kukhanye kube mhlophe izindlela zenu zikhanye zibe njengesihlabathi zolwandle, izingelosi zakini ezinhle ezimhlophe eziza ngobuhle ezigezekile neziza nezinhlanhla kube izona ezisondelayo nezingamayo nezihamba nawe ngaso sonke isikhathi. Kuqhele umnyama, kuqhele bonke laba bangagezekile nabeza ngobubi nabeza ngokubulala nabenza ngobuthakathi, baqhele bangasondeli ezimpilweni zenu. Kuze laba beze ngokuphilisa, abaletha okuhle, abaletha ukusimama komndeni nokusimama kwabantwana benu, nokuphila, nokukhula konke okuhle nokumhlophe ekhaya. Kube yibona abasondelayo nabahamba phambili namagada indlela yakho, kube yibona abaholayo noma ngabe nini. Uma ngabe khona ubumnyama obuzayo babuqhelisa baletha ukukhanya kuphela. Ngiyakhuleka ngithi sengathi ngaba yibona-ke abazohamba nathi kusuka manje kuze noma yinini, bangene ezinhlizweni zabomama bethu, bangene ezinhlizweni nasemndenini yethu ezithola isifuna ukusithakatha nokusibulala ngenxa yokuthi siphiwe, esingakwazi nathi ukusasiphiwe kuphi. Ozozwa bagcina bekhuluma bathi sithatha imadlozi noma siphendula idlozi, izinto esingazazi ukuthi zenziwa kanjani singabantwana. Sithi siyakhuleka ukuthi konke lokho kungene ezinhlizweni zabo ukuthi asikho lapho futhi asikwazi ukuthi kwenziwa kanjani. Ngiyanithanda abantwana bedlozi, ngiyanithanda abantwana God's kids. That's who we are, all of us. Love and light, all the blessings. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Bye.